In this comment, he's referring to responding to triangulation and asking how to have a direct and private conversation with a narcissist. By the end of this video, you'll know how to do this with a normal person and with a narcissist, so that way you can understand the differences. And so you really do want to listen to the end. If you're new here, hi, my name is Corey Marie. I've been in narcissistic relationships for over 30 years with family members and intimate relationships, and I'm here to help validate your experiences. For narcissistic abuse recovery, follow for more and click the link in my bio for a one-on-one. Okay, so think about your goal when you're confronting somebody because, and obviously you're confronting them because it's something that they said or did and it made you feel really uncomfortable or they crossed your boundary and you need to correct it. This is you also learning about yourself. Choose your battles. Ask yourself, will this bother me a week from now, a month from now? If yes, then you do want to address it. So part 1, dialogue with someone who is not a narcissist. There is a possibility that they did this unintentionally, and maybe it was innocent, and you know that if you addressed it with this person and based on their previous patterns of behavior, they might really receive feedback in a positive way because they do genuinely care about you and they don't want to hurt you. So consider this. If you start having this dialogue, and as I've mentioned in the last video, you need to do steps 1 and 2. Step 2 is emotionally regulate. When you are regulated, your body language should be non-defensive, and you would say something like of these 4 prompts that I'm going to give you for a healthy dialogue. Step 1, state the facts. You would say something like, I feel X because X. By doing this, you're giving them the guidebook to your emotions and how your emotions are associated to their actions. But you would never want to do this with a narcissist. Step 2, tell your story. You would say something like, I thought we agreed on X. By telling your story, this brings up step 3. You want to ask what their story is. You want to say something like, what happened? This is you meeting them halfway and they can explain their story. So you just want to listen and be patient. Step 4, encourage testing. You would say something like, next time, da-da-da-da. This will set you up to recognize patterns in the future because if they apologize now and continue to do the same thing after correction, which is what this conversation is, you know that it was intentional all the other times in the future. If you start dialogue without regulating, your body language and tone becomes aggressive because you're emotionally triggered. Check in with yourself and regulate on the spot. Sometimes I like to take a sip of water and mentally come back to a regulated state. If their body language looks defensive or the response becomes defensive, the goal is getting the message to them and understood is becoming lost. So anyone who becomes defensive in a conversation, you will need to disarm them. You can do this by saying, the last thing I wanted to do was to communicate that I didn't value the work that you put in. That kind of helps bring it down, but if that still doesn't work, then you need to not be defensive, remove yourself from the conversation with grace, and start again when everybody's cooled down. What you've been waiting for. So part 2 is having the direct conversation with the narcissist. But first I want you to understand how the narcissist is communicating to you through their actions. Okay, so if you are triangulated with the narcissist, understand that the triangulation happened for 2 reasons. 1, they use hurt and betrayal to communicate control. Now, the third party that they used to make you jealous or inflict a reaction out of you was because they feel like you caused them pain in some way. Maybe you're not aware of what that was, so if you want to book a one-on-one so I can help you figure that out, we can do that. But also this third party doesn't really mean anything to them, like at all. You're the primary concern, and they want to make you feel pain so that way they can have control. More importantly, what you do need to know is that them doing this is a sign that they love you. Okay, let that sink in. This is because when the narcissist was a child and their feelings were not being validated by the parent, in moments where the parent should have shown them love, they gave them pain. So the only way they know how to communicate love is actually through pain, by inflicting pain. They don't know real love. In fact, they're actually suspicious of it, and they think it's fake. So what they actually feel is your attention, and they feel entitled to you and your gifts. So part 2 of that is know that you are dealing with a narcissist. So any confrontation, accusation, or accountability on a problem that they caused will only result in gaslighting, blame shifting, and them playing the victim. Even if on the rare occasion that you experience a narcissist apologizing, pay attention to their patterns of behavior. They will do it again, and that means that when they do it again, you know that it wasn't a real apology. Their apologies sound something like, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I don't want to be responsible for your feelings. Okay, those aren't real apologies. The key takeaway here is observation of patterns of behavior and responses when confronted. With a narcissist, you don't want to reveal your vulnerabilities because they will only use it against you later. So write this down before and after the convo, what you plan to say, and what they actually said and how it made you feel afterwards. I say this because gaslighting, blame shifting, and playing the victim can leave you coming out of that conversation feeling confused and doubtful and lost. Remember, there are no wrong moves here. Everything is learning experience. Right now, you're learning how to recognize patterns in their behavior, which will really help you later on.